we are going to study how the first letter was written by Rudyard Kipling. So once upon a most early time was a neolithic man. He lived cavely in a cave. So that time, that was the period when humans used tools and the weapons made up of stones, and had just developed a farming, and that period was also known as a stone age. So that man wore very few clothes, and he could not read and could not write, and he did not want to. So that man was not knowing how to read and how to write. Even he was not interested in learning. And except when he was hungry, he was quite happy. His name was Tegumai Bopsulai. That means man who does not put his foot forward in a hurry. His name was Tegumai Bopsulai, means he never put his foot forward in a hurry. But we, oh best beloved, we call him Tegumai for short. But in short, we will call that man as a Tegumai. And his wife's name was Teshumai Tewindrow. That means lady who asks very many questions. And his wife's name was Teshumai Tewindrow, which means she used to ask many questions. But we, oh best beloved, we call her Teshumai for short. And his little girl's daughter name was Taffy Metalumai. That means a small person without any manners. So Taffy was, she doesn't know any manners. So she was, can say that she was mannerless, who ought to be spanked, means beaten. But I'm going to call her Taffy. And she was Tegumai Bopsulai's best beloved and her own mummy's best beloved, and she was not spanked half as much as was good for her. And they were all three very happy. Now Dan and listen. Now see, they all the three members were very happy, right? And they were enjoying the life. Now one day what happened? Tegumai Bopsulai went down through the beaver swamp to the Wagai river to spear carp fish for dinner. Carp fish is the name of a fish. So one day what happened? Tegumai went down through the beaver swamp. Beaver swamp is a muddy area. So he just went down through the beaver swamp and to the Wagai river. Wagai river name, right? And Taffy went him with. So now Tegumai's spear was made up of wood and shark teeth at the end. And before he had caught any fish at all, he accidentally broke it. So what happened? Tegumai accidentally broke it. What broke it? Spear, right? So clean across by jabbing it down too hard. So when he jabbed that spear too hard on the bottom of the river, so accidentally that spear broke it. That spear was broken. So they were miles and miles from home, and Tegumai had forgotten to bring an extra spears. Now they were too far. Miles and miles means too far from the home, and they just forgot to bring an extra spear. So here is a pretty kettle of fish, means completely messy situation, said Tegumai, and it will take me half the day to mend this. Why completely messy situation? Because it will take half a day to repair. Mend this means to repair my spear. Now that's a big black spear at home, said Taffy. Let me run back to the cave and ask Mummy to give. Now the little girl said, okay, we have big black spear at home, so I'll go home and I'll go to home and I'll ask Mom to give it to me. It's too far for your little fat legs, said Tegumai. Besides, you might fall into the bigger swamp and be drowned. But Dad said no. Tegumai said no, you are not allowed to go because you are too young, and you may fall into beaver swamp, that muddy area, and be drowned. So we must make the best of a bad job. Best of a bad job means whatsoever the difficult circumstances that we are in, we will do something best out of this. So he sat down and took out the little leather mending bag full of reindeer news and strips of leather and lumps of beeswax and resins, and began to mend the spear. So what he did, he took out his mending bag and he started repairing the spear. Now Taffy sat down too, with her toes in the water and her chin in her hand, and thought very hard. Then she said, I say, Daddy, it's an awful nuisance that you and I do not know how to write, isn't it? And if we did, we could send a message for the new spear. Now she was saying that, okay, she was regretting that why she is not knowing that how to write, because if she was knowing how to write, then okay, she could easily send a message to her mom to send that extra spare, right? Now suddenly what happened, a stranger man came along the river, and he belonged to a far tribe. A stranger man came there, right, and he belonged to another tribe, and the name of tribe was Tiwaras. And he did not understand one word of Tegumai's language, and he was not able to understand what Tegumai was saying language. So he stood on the bank of the river and smiled at Taffy. So he was standing there and passing a smile at Taffy. Why? Now see, why he was passing a smile at the Taffy? Because he had a little girl daughter of his own at home. That is why he was passing a smile. Now, Tegumai drew a hank of deer stews from his mendy bag and began to mend his spear. Come here, said Taffy. Do you know where my mommy lives? Now, Taffy said to the stranger, do you know where my mommy lives? And the stranger man said, Why he said, because he was not able to understand what this little girl was saying. So Taffy said, silly, and she stamped her foot because she saw a shoal of big calf going up the river just when her daddy could not use his spear. Again she stamped her foot. Why she stamped her foot? Because suddenly she has seen one big cowfish going up the river, and she was regretting that why her daddy could not use that spear. Now don't bother, grown-ups, said Tegumai, so busy with spear mending so that he did not turn around. He was busy in mending the spear, so that is why that was the reason he did not turn around. Now Taffy said, I am not. I only want him to do what I want him to do, and he won't understand. Then don't bother me, said Tegumai. And Tegumai said, okay, don't disturb me. And he went on pulling and straining at the deer snooze with his mouth full of loose ends. The stranger man, a genuine Tiwara, he was sat down on the grass, and Taffy showed him what her daddy was doing. So the stranger man, who was a genuine Tiwara, he also sat down on the grass, and Taffy showed him what her dad was doing that time. So the stranger man thought, this is a very wonderful child. But that man was thinking that she is very wonderful. Why? Because she stamps her foot at me and she makes faces. She must be the daughter of noble chief who is so great that he won't take any notice of me. So that stranger man thought that okay, she is very wonderful child, and she must be the daughter of this person Tegumai, who is so great, and even he has not paid any attention towards me. So he smiled more politely than ever. He smiled more politely than ever means he just passed a good gesture towards that Taffy. Now said Taffy, I want you to go to my mommy because your legs are longer than mine and you won't fall into Beaver Swamp, and ask for daddy's other spear. And the Taffy said, okay, you please go to my mom's house and please ask my mom to give me that extra spear, and you will not, and I'm sure that you will not fall into Beaver Swamp because your legs are longer than mine. And she has also explained, see, and asked for daddy's other spear, one with a black handle that hangs over fireplace. And she has also explained where she has kept that extra spear that hangs over our fireplace. The stranger man thought, this is a very wonderful child. She waves her arms, she shouts at me, but I don't understand a word of what she says. But that man was feeling sorry for not understanding what she was saying. But if I do not do what she wants, I greatly fear that haughty chief man who turns his back on callers will be angry. So he was thinking that if I'll not do anything for this Taffy, maybe that his this man will be angry on me. So he got up, twisted a big flat piece of bark off a birch tree and gave it to the Taffy. So what he did, he just removed a piece of bark from the birch tree and give it to the Taffy. He did this, best beloved, to show that his heart was as white as the birch bark. So why he has given birch bark? To show that his heart is pure, means as white as the color of birch bark. So that means I'm not going to harm you. But Taffy did not understand. But Taffy was not able to understand that why this man has given me this piece of birch bark. Oh, said she, now I see you want my mum is living at it. So what she has understood? Okay, that this man has given me this birch bark because this man wants to know my address. So of course I can't write, but I can draw pictures if I have anything sharp to scratch with. So what she said, okay, no worries, I cannot write, but I can draw some pictures. I just want something sharp object so that I could scratch on this birch bark. Now please lend me your shark tooth of your necklace. So she said like, okay, you just give me your shark tooth of your necklace. Now stranger man did not say anything. So Taffy put up her little line and pulled at the beautiful bead and seed and shark tooth necklace around his neck. So just Taffy put her little hand and pulled his shark tooth around his neck. Now, see, the stranger man, as he was a Trivara, thought this is a very wonderful child. Very, very, very wonderful child means awesome, means extraordinary child. Why? Because the shark's tooth on my necklace is a magic shark's tooth, and I was always told that if anybody touched it without my leave, they would immediately swell up or burst. So from his childhood, he was always told that okay, no one is allowed to touch that necklace, the shark tooth, and if anybody will touch that man or that person will burst. But this child does not swell up or burst, and that important chief man who attends strictly to his business, who has not yet taken notice of me at all, does not seem to be afraid she will swell or burst. And even he was thinking, the stranger man was thinking that that noble person is that chief is not worried that my daughter may be burst. I had better be more polite, so I should be more polite. So he gave Taffy the shark tooth, and she lay down flat on her tummy with her legs in the air like some people on the drawing room. So she laid there as if she was laying in the drawing room floor when they want to draw picture, as if someone, we all are drawing pictures in like when we are drawing pictures in our drawing room. So we just lay down in a relaxed mood, and she said, now I'll draw some beautiful pictures. You can look over my shoulder, but you must not joggle. So she said like, you should not joggle, right? But you just look over my shoulder. That's the end. We will continue this story in the next part. Thank you so much.